Welcome to my channel, and today, I'm going to tell you 10 things that make your car engine last forever. Alright, before we get started, guys, I want you to take a look at these two pictures. So this is one car, okay? And this is another car. Can you guess which one has 87,000 miles and which one has 345,000 miles? If you guessed this was the one with the higher mileage, you'd be right. Now, both of these cars are 2006 models. Both of them are Toyota 469 SEV6 engines. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Number 1. Regular oil changes. Alright, so with any car, regardless of make, model, or year, if you want that engine to last, one thing you need to do is change your oil regularly. Now, most manufacturers recommend changing your oil every 3,000 miles. However, with newer vehicles, they can go a little bit further. Some can go up to 5,000 miles between oil changes. But regardless of what you drive, if you're trying to make it last a long time, you need to change that oil regularly. Number 2. Coolant. Alright, so coolant, like oil, is very vital when it comes to your engine. Coolant helps regulate the temperature of your engine, and just like oil, it breaks down over time. Now, in older vehicles, you want to check your coolant every 30,000 miles and change it out when it's dirty. In newer vehicles, depending on what type of coolant it is, it can go upwards of 100,000 miles. Number 3. Belts and hoses. Alright, so belts and hoses, they're all around your engine, and they're very vital. They power a lot of things, whether it's your alternator or your water pump. Now, these components, they're made out of rubber, and rubber has a lifespan. Now, once they start to crack or deteriorate, you don't want them to break while you're driving, so it's best to replace them before they actually do break. So in most cases, you want to inspect these components every 30,000 miles and replace them as needed. Number 4. Spark plugs. Alright, spark plugs, they ignite the air-fuel mixture in your engine, and they do have a lifespan. Now, if you're driving in more of a severe condition, meaning you're either in a really hot climate or really cold, they might need to be changed more often. But as a general rule of thumb, you should be changing your spark plugs every 30,000 miles. Number 5. Air filter. Alright, so the air filter, it's a simple component, but it's very important because it keeps debris and dirt out of your engine. Now, if you live in a more rural area, you probably need to change it out more often because you're gonna be driving through a lot more dirt and dust. But as a general rule of thumb, you want to inspect your air filter every 12,000 miles and change it out when it's dirty. Number 6. Battery. Alright, so your battery, it doesn't last forever. Typically, they can last anywhere from 2 to 5 years. And a lot of it has to do with the climate that you live in. If you live in a more severe climate, meaning really hot or really cold, they're not going to last as long. So it's always a good idea to have your battery tested, especially if you're having issues with your vehicle. Number 7. Transmission fluid. Alright, so your transmission fluid, it's very important. It helps lubricate and regulate the temperature of your transmission. Now, most manufacturers recommend changing your transmission fluid every 30,000 miles. However, some newer vehicles are starting to recommend not changing it at all unless there's a problem. So it's always a good idea to check your owner's manual. Number 8. Brake pads and rotors. Alright, so your brake pads and rotors, they wear down over time. Now, typically, your brake pads, they only last anywhere from 20,000 to 40,000 miles. However, your rotors can last a lot longer. Now, it all depends on how hard you're driving and also the type of driving you're doing. Are you driving in a more severe condition? Meaning, are you driving in a lot of stop-and-go traffic or mountain roads where you're constantly using your brakes? And also, are you easy on your brakes or are you hard on your brakes? Now, if you're hard on your brakes and you're in a lot of stop-and-go traffic, your brake pads are going to wear out a lot quicker. Number 9. Timing belt. Alright, so the timing belt, it's a very important component because it helps time the rotation of your camshaft to your crankshaft. Now, if it breaks, it can cause catastrophic engine damage. Now, most manufacturers recommend changing your timing belt every 100,000 miles. However, some recommend changing it out at 50,000 miles. so it's always a good idea to check your owner's manual. And number 10. Catalytic converter. Alright, so the catalytic converter, it reduces the amount of pollutants coming out of your exhaust system. Now, these can last anywhere from 80,000 to 100,000 miles. However, if you're driving in a more severe condition, meaning you're in a lot of stop-and-go traffic or you're hard on your vehicle, they might not last as long. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some insight on what makes your car engine last a long time. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'm always here to help you guys out. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. God bless.